Good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Church of Religious Science in Vallejo, California, north of the Bay Area. I'm Reverend Jerry Fetterly. It's my delight to welcome you as the spiritual director. And we have Alex Richardson here, who is the practitioner and will lead us soon for prayer. I'm wearing my shamrock. I'm about 51% Irish, according to Ancestry.com. And so I'm celebrating St. Patrick's Day about 3 days early. So, and Alex is wearing her green tie. So, Alex, pray us in.
So, top of the morning to you. I know we have to wait till Wednesday, but I'm an orange Irish, as I understand it. So, but I have a green tie on. So, welcome everybody. Let us pray. Take a breath, and close your eyes, and be with all of us. Just feel the togetherness of being together. Knowing there is one loving God, and knowing that we are one with each other and one with the loving God. I pray for peace and kindness. I bless everyone knowing love and kindness is the answer to perfect living. I bless our Reverend Jerry, holding us with love in his heart through all this time. And his talk today is release and let go. I bless everyone working toward the goodness and helping and loving in the world. And I bless each of you listening with us today, and great blessings to all with us now and later. And so it is. So we are still celebrating Women's Month, Women's History Month. So today I'm going to tell you about Joanne Riggs, Diane Merrick, and Jerry Williams. So did you know the first industrial woman CEO was Anna Sutherland Bissell? I guess you know what she did. From 1846 to 1934. When her husband died, she stepped in and became the first woman CEO in the United States, was very philanthropic and started a school for recreation and training program for youth and immigrant women in their hometown of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Talk about fabulous women. Let's begin with our own. Our first one is Joanne Riggs. She is 70 years old, and there's a reason I'm telling you how old she is. Was our president of the board for 3 years, and she's a widow for 10 years. She lived in Richmond, Walnut Creek, Davis, Sacramento, San Pablo, and 43 years in Vallejo, and 41 of them being in the home she's in now. She got a BS biology degree at UC Davis in 72, and she started at Chevron Research, that's not easy to say, 1973 to 2008, and she began as a technician in petroleum chemistry to quality assurance chemist in analytical testing of petroleum. She's been at our church for 8 years. The reason I mentioned her age at the beginning is because age shouldn't slow you down. She is currently enrolled in a paralegal program. Her goal to do pro bono work in unserved communities. Her hobbies are flower arranging, gardening, learning Spanish, although I think she's pretty good at Spanish right now. She has a daughter and 2 stepsons and a spoiled dog named Alvin. She supports and participates in fundraising events for Saturday Art School of Guatemala, and she sponsors 4 kids. One great thing about our ladies is how involved they are with and supporting others. So our second one today is Diane Merrick, another woman that we are celebrating. Of course, we call her Dee. Dee's grandparents and parents were instrumental in starting our church. She even remembers Ernest Holmes himself speaking at our church in the 50s. Dee is a pet sitter, and if you want a good pet care, give her a call. One of my friends calls her for her dog anytime she leaves town. Diane is an all-time volunteer. She taught Sunday school at church, and she is truly the person, so to speak, that will give you the shirt off her back. She loves any living thing. She rescues, has a lovely heart, and has a kinship to all life. Praises to our friend and church member with great love. And when you come to church, check out the lectern. Her father carved it. So our next person is Geraldine Williams. Geraldine and her family have been members of FCRS, that's our church, for the last 4 years. They came to FCRS after the church they had been attending since they arrived in Vallejo 20 years ago closed their doors. Geraldine chose FCRS for her family's church after reevaluating her beliefs and doing extensive study and research about spirituality. And she discovered that her and her husband's beliefs align most with FCRS New Thought teaching. Geraldine loves uplifting services, cooking and eating, the potluck lunches, the Diva group, the bookstore, availability of classes and ongoing teaching, and quiet time in the Zen garden. Geraldine was able to add to FCRS Christmas time community events by introducing us to a program called Adopt a Family, hosted by the not-for-profit that Geraldine worked for until her retirement 2 years ago. Besides being the mother of 3 children and 3 rescue dogs, Geraldine's most proudest accomplishments is serving 12 years in the United States military. Well, she got the opportunities to serve her country as well as travel, and even lived in Spain for 3 years. So that's our 3 people today. Aren't that wonderful? And I have more coming. So if you're a woman of our church and you'd like to be part of my little thing on Sunday mornings, just send it to me to the namaste part. That's my, my tag. So now we'll do meditation. So let's begin our 3-minute meditation. So get comfortable and let's just shake a little. You know, I always find that if you get your body moving and then quiet down, it's amazing how fast you get quiet. I'll ring the chime at the end and the beginning to finish our time. As soon as I find it. I guess I wasn't that ready. Okay. Wasn't that nice and peaceful? So I leave you today, if I can find it here. I have so many papers. And it's from another great woman, Mother Teresa, and it's called Anyway. People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. So do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it's between you and God. It never was between you and them anyway. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Alex. Namaste. So everyone, we're going to try a little treat today. I believe I have figured out how to get our band up and playing large screen and with the music. So let's try it out. Whoops, I did it at 1 second. There, I had to turn on the sound, make it big.
1, 2, 3, 4. What if everything that makes us sad turns out not to be so bad? Everything that seems so wrong is what we needed, not meant to. What if everything in life's a gift? What if life's a question, a tale untold? We find all the answers as it unfolds. I have learned by trials and tears that faith is my freedom and stronger than fear. What I have been afraid of, maybe that's the stuff dreams are made of. There's more to the picture than we can see. We're part of a tapestry. It's a beautiful story. Isn't it beautiful? What if everything that makes us sad turns out not to be so bad? Everything that seems so wrong is what we needed all along. What if we're just not meant to? What if everything in life's a gift? What if? What if?
So I hope you all enjoyed that. And just 1 minute while I have to make one tech All right, hang on a minute. That's what I was trying to do. When we get a tech support, I will. There we go. Sorry for that. I'm still learning my tech skills. There we go. I'm back. Yes. Anybody who wants to be a high-tech person, I'm willing to work with them on Zoom, and we can do this. But until then, I believe that song, that Lee was singing was absolutely perfect for a day, which we are talking about releasing and letting go. So get comfortable, as I know that you already are. This is a time when you can be in pajamas, and it's okay. So when we eventually go back into service, y'all have to start dressing again. That was supposed to be funny. I didn't hear any laughter. But anyway, so just think about it. We're celebrating a year of sheltering in place today. It was a year ago because of a pandemic. We closed our church, and as many did across the nation, went into some form of closing. So congratulate yourself that you did a great job and you didn't go stir crazy. You're here, you're sane, and you're with us to release and let go today. So at the same time, my condolences, though, go out to those who have lost loved ones, because there have been a lot of lives lost to this pandemic, and we want to honor that and know our hearts are full of compassion for all of you. But hope is here. Vaccines are getting into the arms of our loved ones. I know that I've gotten my shots, and Alex got her second shot this week, and so did Joanne, and people are getting vaccinated. But we still have to practice safe distancing, social distancing, and mask wearing. And we have to still be mindful that we're not through this yet. But we're going to talk today about releasing our fears and letting go of those things that keep us from stepping into the present moment. Because that's what we're encouraged to do. We're encouraged to release and let go of our fears and step into our hopes for living life more fully in 2021 than we did in 2020. 2020 served a good purpose. It took us inside. It took us a moment to reflect and contemplate our lives and the importance of those things which we hold dear. So as part of all this shelter in place and things like that, CSL, which is the Centers for Spiritual Living, held a summit yesterday. It was from 9 until 2, and it was called Welcoming Home. And it had many of the leaders across the nation of CSL, including a couple of our own leaders were there, listening to what the experience and expectations would be to start opening up our church and going back into a sanctuary. And I want to encourage you today to stay tuned after the service when we open up the community, because I have a survey which you can take anonymously, and we'll all share the poll results right then and there, and we can have a discussion about some of the considerations that are going to be necessary for the team, which is meeting tomorrow. We have a reopening team meeting tomorrow, which is going to look at what we learned from Church Mutual, our insurance company, yesterday, what we learned from other centers, and what we know about our own demographics, what we know about our community, what we know about Solano County, and what we know about each one of you, because it is paramount that your safety and health is the most important thing. We want you to be safe and to be around to live life fully. So hang on and sit back and relax, because Now's the time to talk about release and let go. It sounds like a song. Releasing is about making room for a greater good to be expressed or received, and for a change to take place and for healing. Releasing is not based on what we choose to release, but on Spirit's highest idea for revealing what must be released. Eugene Holden, who spoke here at the end of December, you might remember him. He's a religious science practitioner of about 30 years. Fear keeps us, he wrote, hanging on to what doesn't work in our lives. It also keeps us from surrendering to our good. Surrender has two sides, he reminds us. We surrender all that does not serve us, then we surrender to our greatest good. Then we surrender to our greatest good. All during this month of March, we are reminding ourselves to be open to the highest idea of our lives through the spiritual practice of visioning, opening up to that impress of spirit through visioning, which allows us to tap into that realm of possibilities, much greater than we can even begin to imagine for ourselves. And it begins by letting go, releasing our resistance to what is in front of us. When this talk theme was first suggested by the group developing our weekly themes for consistency, the centers get kind of a template, and then we enlarge it according to our own beliefs and our own ideas. But I was excited because my mantra this year has been non-attachment and non-resistance. Non-attachment and non-resistant. And that is, for me, that means giving up resistance to the now and let go of my attachment to outcome. I let go of how I think it ought to be, and I let Spirit show me the wonders of what it can be for my highest good. So you can tell this theme was suggested by the Visioning Corps because it's all about visioning. And some of you probably know that Dr. Michael Beckwith of Agape International refined the centuries-old custom of vision casting into a modern spiritual practice. The idea is to allow God to give us the direction and information through the intuition of our higher wisdom self. And we achieve this light meditative state, and we ask questions of the divine. We allow Spirit to answer the questions through the images and the ideas, the words, the symbols, and other information that spontaneously come to us. We all receive information differently. There is no right way. There is no wrong way to receive information. You open up to Spirit. You let Spirit show you what is your highest good. What is the highest ideal for you? So Dr. Michael Beckwith, he developed 5 standard questions. They're pretty basic questions, but when you go in and allow that intuitive voice to be heard, you can have a response to these questions. The first question is almost always, what is Spirit's highest vision for? And you fill in the blank, for my life, for my situation, for my finances, whatever that is. Last week, Reverend Gene spoke of a high idea. What is it for you? And then that second question is, we ask, what is my role in this situation? What part do I play in what I see? And then the third step is, what must I release in order for the highest outcome of this situation to come about? And that's what we're going to speak about today. And the fourth question is, what spiritual quality must I embrace for the highest outcome of this situation to come about? What must I embrace? And then the fifth question is always the catch-all. What else, if anything, would Spirit like to share with me about this situation? So when we do this in a meditative state and we ask these questions, quite often it's better if we have somebody else asking these questions, but you can do it yourself. Then we open ourselves up and we let Spirit come in. We don't evaluate, we don't edit. We just let be. We sit in the question and let the Spirit reveal the answer to us. So release and let go is what we're talking about. The third question today and the visioning. So what must I release in order for the highest outcome to manifest? Michael Betworth says it's 100% of spiritual growth is in the letting go. Releasing and letting go of ideas and beliefs and attachments that no longer serve to create openness and spaciousness. It removes obstacles and impediments in the way of living the vision of releasing and embracing, are where the work lies, where it comes to manifesting. And it is work, it's inner work, because you have to let go of those ideas which have been like concrete embedded in your consciousness, but they no longer serve you. So since the all-knowing spirit, which already knows what is necessary to release, our job is to ask spirit what needs to be released. Our work is to be still, listen to the voice within, and then follow its guidance. Don't evaluate it. Don't try and second guess God. As spirit fills out our being with the truth, we can relax, release, and let go of all that's no longer needed. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, ignorance stays with us until the day of enlightenment, until our vision towards the spirit broadens and casts out the image of a no longer useful littleness. So don't play small, is what he's telling us. Play big. You are on a majestic stage of life. You have the power of the divine within you. So we should remember that ignorance is not someone being dumb or not smart. It just simply means we're unaware, not knowing, or not informed. All of that changes when we expand and open up our consciousness. Some perhaps are afraid that once they know, they cannot unknow, because that's true. But now is the time. You can give up your resistance now and start living fully. You claim responsibility for your life. So it is time to step out of the shadows. I want to make 3 points today that illustrate this view for me. The first is, from our study of science of mind, we know that as a matter of law, the law of attraction, spiritual growth cannot take place until we are open to new learning by catching spirit's idea about what we need to let go of our beliefs, and yes, even tangible things. Through visioning for what needs to be released, we set the stage for receiving greater good, which includes going beyond our beliefs and attachments and allow change to take place. So as we embrace spirit's highest ideas and we release those untruths, we automatically make room for our being lifted out of the wrong tendencies, the discord, and the illness that we have. Rama Vanan and the Visioning Student workbook wrote, our vision begins when the mind is momentarily free of everyday thoughts, worry, fear, expectations, criticisms. And when the moments grow between each thought, visions begin to appear. So all mistakes are due to the ignorance of not knowing.
How quickly did you get a reaction?
The practice of self-forgiveness is the greatest time-honored spiritual tool for setting us free from ignorance of the past. The daily practice of self-forgiveness, as negative as harmful thoughts come up, will free us from toxicity building up in being. This practice will help us release and let go of all that's no longer needed. Our beautiful practitioner, Alex Richardson, who's offered up this meditation every Sunday, she also takes over as a host of New Nuggets every Tuesday on our daily Zoom community group. And it gives me a day break. And she loves this Hawaiian tradition of the Ho'oponopono prayer of forgiveness. And she's offered it up for discussion a few times. And it's a method that clears a blockage in our thoughts and in our cell structures. It cleanses and it releases us from our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions that separate us from our universal energy. It's so simple. It's only 4 steps. It's a 4-step prayer. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Can you say that? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. That is a 4-step prayer. You can say it anytime. It clears the energy. It turns negative energy into positive energy, just like a magical wand. But it's that prayer that connects you. So as we cleanse ourselves mentally and we open up our hearts, then we're ready to hear these words from our founder, Ernest Holmes, who wrote in the Living the Science of Mind, we must increase our receptivity, continuously extend and expand our comprehension. We shall declare 100 times a day, there is no limit to the good which is mine. We shall declare 100 times a day, there is no limit to the good which is mine. Do you hear the power in that affirmation? This is really important thing to remember. Sometimes we wait for the universe to deliver when our mental doors are shut tight. We are encouraged to open up our receptivity to our good. And as Ernest Holmes wrote, declare it 100 times a day until you believe it beyond any doubt. It is our good which is waiting for us to welcome it into our lives. We must let go of the doubt and the resistance that we hold from our past. Step bravely into that now, trusting that all is well. The Talmud says, the dream not interpreted is like a letter from God, not read. My second point is, while it's not easy to release our troubles or give up the things we resent and regret, we seem to hang on to those. We can ask for help and listen to Spirit's highest ideas and what needs to be released and forgiven. And with repetition, we'll find that we catch more insights. The more we practice, the better we get at it. It's like anything we practice, the more we do it, the better we get at it. The idea that there's a spiritual solution to every problem is demonstrated when we work to manifest visions for our personal life and for topics beyond the personal realm. Ray Jordan, who spoke to us about a year ago, wrote the visioning guide. All spiritual work is actually the process of subtraction, the releasing of old ideas about us and the false beliefs about life. By releasing old ideas and false beliefs, you welcome insights which reveal how to open up to your highest good. So do you get that? It's really the process of subtraction. It's not adding more stuff into your life. It's about subtraction. So people who are active in AA know the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I grew up in a family where my father was a practicing alcoholic until he was in his 50s. And this was a repair that he recited many times during his recovery, and he shared with anyone who would listen. For it changed his life from one of feeling victimized into feeling powerful in his own life. He went on to help many people in recovering from the effects of their addiction. And along the way, he developed a spiritual practice that while he was a Catholic, it seems very much like mine today in New Thought. It was one of meditation. He had involved with spiritual reading and prayers for people. He once showed me his prayer list of many people that he would pray for when they asked. And he would keep them on his prayer list until it no longer was necessary. He also had a habit of dating his writings in the margins of the books he read. And I do the same thing today myself. I also highlight in different colors for the different times I read material in the same place. You should see my Science of Mind textbook. It looks like a rainbow showered on most pages with little aha notes in the margins. It's a great way to revisit the ahas that have made a change and a difference in my life as I have let go of those limiting ideas that held me back from the full expression of this beautiful life I live. My third point is all beginning and more advanced levels of spiritual growth are not about getting, they're about and dependent upon letting go. They are all about letting go of that which no longer serves us and releasing that power within us that has been blocked. And as we begin to see and describe that vision of what needs to be released, we'll find that we catch more insights, which will ultimately manifest in our life. And as I said in the beginning, when I quoted Eugene Holden, fear keeps us hanging on to what doesn't work in our life. It also keeps us from surrendering to our good. Surrender has two sides. We surrender all that does not serve us. Then we surrender to our highest good. So we have to ask ourselves, why are we hanging on to those old beliefs that no longer serve us and blocks us from receiving our good? It's like having a closet stuffed full of clothes when half of them are from a time when our waist was 3 or 4 inches smaller than now. Definitely an impact of the COVID diet for many of us. And maybe we'll all start going to the gym now and lose those pounds to fit into those old clothes. But what about clearing out those old clothes that we will never really ever going to wear again? I use the clothes metaphor because I think we hold on to old clothes because they were comfortable or we looked great in them, but they no longer fit. It is like our beliefs. We hang on to our old beliefs because they are comfortable, even when they no longer fit our higher consciousness and they no longer serve us. It's almost time for spring cleaning, time to go through our physical closets and throw out the old to make way for the new. I encourage you to do the same with your mental attitudes and beliefs. If they no longer serve you, be courageous and throw them out. So let me start closing with questions you might ask yourself to start this process of release and letting go. Ask yourself, can we successfully release and let go of ideas, beliefs, and limitations without embracing their replacement? Is that possible? And then another question, how does living in the question, what is Spirit's highest idea of itself as my life, open me up of what needs to be released? There's a science of mind trinity that's summed up in that statement. Where your attention goes, energy flows and manifestation follows. Let me say that again. Where your attention goes, energy flows and manifestation follows. At central to these 3 stages is putting your conscious attention on asking for Spirit's highest vision of what needs to be released. Keeping your attention on this question long enough to receive the visionary insight on what needs to be released, and then manifesting the vision by committing to embrace the conscious and creative mind stages. Namaste and thank you. So I have an affirmation for you today. It's short. The more I release, the more good I can experience. It makes sense, doesn't it? The more I release, the more good I can experience. So let's pray. I invite you right now, if it's comfortable, to go within. And I close my eyes, and I do that because it shuts out that outer distraction and it allows me to really go inside and connect. And I invite you to do the same thing. Go within and connect to that breath that breathes you, because I know that that is the breath of God that breathes me. And I know that same truth for you, that that is the energy of the divine that is flowing through all of us. I call that good. It is my life. It is God's life. It is your life now. As I know this is true, I know that we have the courage to step into our highest good by letting go of limiting beliefs. Anything which does not serve us, we discard. We let it go back to the nothingness from which it came. And we step into the magic of that life we are creating with the divine intuitive as our guide. So I am so grateful that, and I bless each and every person on this call, in this sound of my voice, knowing that whatever disease or discomfort Right now, you are healed. You are going within. You are the loved one of the divine. And so letting go of anything which holds you from experiencing that is my prayer for you. For I know that God already hears. The universe is already respond, for the universe always says yes. And I release, I let go with this heart that overflows in love. And so it is. So before opening up for our community gathering, a way to do our anonymous, I want to do a little screen share with people and see if you, let me bring it up, and there we go. So this is for people who would like to make a contribution to maintain this beautiful yellow building, which is our spiritual center, the First Church of Religious Science in Vallejo. You can go to our webpage and at firstchurchvallejo.org and do online giving, PayPal, or through your bank at Bill Pay. And then the First Church of Religious Science, you can write a check and send it to 229 Spring Road, Vallejo, California, or drop it in the bookstore mail slot if you're driving by. So with all that, now I'm going to open up and suggest all of you undo your unmute yourselves. Oh, we have a good group today. We have 10 people. Alex was afraid nobody would come. See, Alex?
We got more than that. There's like 14.
Oh, 14? Wow.
I
That's,
see 4. Well,
oh,
and
I
then the
see.
Williams is more than one.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I was counting people in the chat. There are 14. You are absolutely right. Oh my, I am so happy. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good. So what I want to do is, we had this meeting on Saturday about what different centers are doing to open up their sanctuaries, because most of them are still closed. The few are going through and opening up in stages, but those I think are mostly larger churches who have staff and things of that nature. Our staff and volunteers right now are fairly limited. Matter of fact, if you get our constant contact or you receive my letter, you will know that I asked you to contact Alex and tell her how you are willing to help in reopening the church. And then our reopen committee, which Alex is the chair of, is meeting tomorrow. And that is Dennis and Joanne and Alex and myself. And we're going to consider all the things we heard on Saturday and the things about Solano and the CDC guidelines for California. And we're going to try to make some decisions to recommend to the board. And we'll see what happens. But I wanted to have you play an anonymous poll. Nobody will know who answers what, but we'll get to do a poll, which are 10 questions about opening up, about how you feel about it. So now, do you see a poll on your screen? And if you would go ahead and start answering those, when the polling is done, I will share the results with everybody right away.
Do you want to answer it here, Dennis?
Yeah, just click on it. Click if the first question is, would you be comfortable attending in-person services if all were vaccinated? If you're saying yes, you just click on the yes. If it's no, you click on no. If you're not sure, you click on that one. If you don't want to make an opinion, you click on that one too. I tried to anticipate
Answer the question.
all the things that people might have.
All right, I'll answer.
I will tell you while you're filling that out. Right now, CDC says that everybody has to wear a mask, but I put it in there because this poll will help us evaluate going down the road.
Where to go?
Where to go?
How many questions are there?
10.
Okay, mine stopped at 8. I tried to hit
Mine-
one of the things and
Mine
then it just
stopped at
stopped.
2. Mine stopped at 2,
I see all 10.
but
I don't. Well,
I
let
just
me
have
s-
2.
No,
I
after
submitted,
I
but
hit
nothing
on
happened.
8, it doesn't come up next anymore.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm on question 8, and when I hit a choice, the next does not come up.
All
Or
right, so
submitter.
if you have a little tag, a little gray bar over on the right-hand side, pull it down.
What gray bar? I don't have a
Oh,
gray
yeah,
bar.
the bar, yeah.
There's a
that's
gray
what I did.
bar which makes the thing go up and down.
Scroll bar.
Yeah,
Oh.
two people, that's how you get to number 9 and 10. You know, like on,
I'm on
on
my iPad.
okay, I don't know, but I usually there's a gray bar right on the side. It's a very small, like 1/8 of an inch. And you just grab it with your, oh, you don't have a mouse. Grab it with something, a finger, and pull it down, and it'll take you to point number 9.
Oh, well, it's the whole thing. I just did it with, because I have a touch screen, it disappeared.
Who's Joanne? Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
Okay, well, I've got 4 people who are, 4 people out of 12 have completed it.
Okay, I can't. Mine's,
Well, if you go as far as you can, and then if you want, you can just submit it.
there's nowhere to submit. There's
No, it
sub-
doesn't submit.
If you can get to the bottom, and again, I don't know on an iPad.
No,
Alex, are you on an iPad? You're muted, Alex. Alex, you're muted.
No, I'm not.
Oh, your lips were moving, but I couldn't hear you.
Oh,
she was
well,
probably
that's
swearing.
unusual.
So Alex, were you able to do all 10?
I got up to 8 or 9, but there's a
I
thing
got
that
up
says,
to 8. I can't go farther.
it says on my screen, poll in progress. When I push that, it goes back to the poll, and then I can keep going from number 1 all the way up.
Oh, okay, now, yeah, now it's back to number 1.
Now, when I,
Okay.
s- when I
So
try
I
to
just-
pull the scroll down, it pulls the answer down. So I can't, I'm trying to submit the answer, but I pull the scroll bar down and just changes, I'm on number 8. it
Are
just
you on an
changes-
iPad also, Diana?
No, I'm in a
Okay, so
PC.
if you're on a laptop, take your mouse.
Don't have a mouse.
What do you use to
Track
scroll?
bar, track thing.
Okay, take your track. That's a mouse. And you go over to the
Oh, yeah,
right hand
thank you.
side. You go to the right hand side and you pull it down.
I did it with the mouse and that works. I have a touch
Yes.
screen, but it didn't work with the touch.
Yeah, yeah.
No, mine stopped at 8 again.
Okay, I don't know how to solve that problem because I don't have it. I didn't do this on
It
iPad.
had my answers already.
I've got 6 out of 10 people.
Well,
I
maybe
just
that's
got
good.
It won't submit though.
Yeah.
It won't submit.
What if I close it? Well, I just closed it, but now
Okay.
it's open. Now it's back to number 1 again.
Yeah, but if you go number 1, number 2, number 3, just keep going forward, it gets to another number.
I know, but I got to 8 twice and it stops at 8 for me.
I got to
maybe
10,
we-
but nothing, just submit. Can't submit.
Oh, there we are.
Well, I don't know if you can see the screen right now. I'm watching the polling right now. And okay, I haven't tried this with somebody with an iPad, so I'm going to bring that up in my class. I'm taking this class on facilitating all of
I
this
did it
stuff.
the other day when we did it. I was,
Yeah,
I
did
think-
we have
oh,
10
maybe I was on
questions?
my phone. I don't remember.
I
Yeah.
have an iPad and mine went fine. I had to go back to 1 again and then go through the thing, and then I would do a couple more, and then I had to go back again, and I did my thing, and I
Yeah.
finally got to 10.
Okay,
I'm to 10, but I still can't submit it. Won't
you're at
submit.
10, and at the very end, I've got 7 people out of 10 have voted.
Submit doesn't work for me.
Yeah, mine didn't work. I could try, oh, I can try on my phone, but I have to get off and back on.
Well, Jerry, I'd be glad to do this if this doesn't accept it, then I will do it by email if you care to send it.
Okay, I'll send you the poll by email.
I'm going to close this out now because I filled it out, and hope for the
Well,
best.
I have a feeling that you think you haven't submitted it, but your answers are recorded. Because I've got 8 of
Is
10
it?
I've got 8 of 10 people. So I think you're all recording as soon as you fill it
Oh.
out.
If
It's in
submit
progress.
doesn't change, then, you
Yeah,
press submit and nothing
you don't have
happens.
to worry about it, submit.
Okay, well, you got mine 1 through 8 then.
All right,
Maybe.
Name is Pat.
I've got 8 people. Who else is still working on it? Oh, yeah, if you got 1 through 8, maybe you're one of those, Joanne.
Yeah.
Is everybody ready for me to end the polling?
Yeah.
Is anybody still working?
No.
Louise, did you do this? Oh, Louise, you're muted, Louise. Whoops.
Aaron, you're muted.
You're muted. There you are. Did you have a chance to do it, Louise?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I'm gonna end the polling.
Okay.
And then that way we can see the results. So can you see the results?
Yes.
Would you be comfortable with attending in-person services if all people were vaccinated? 50% of the people said yes. 25% said no. 25% said not sure.
Well, that's a nice
That's an interesting comment.
distribution.
Yeah. And would you be, if they were not vaccinated, meaning, and the only way you would know if somebody is vaccinated, if you ask to see their card. If
I
they're
don't know
not,
legal- I don't know if we can do that, but
yeah, I don't know either. If all attendees were not vaccinated, it's 25% said yes, 50% said no.
can you scroll that up?
Which way do you want me? I'm going to 3 right now.
You
Oh,
can
I
scroll
can do it on my
yourself.
screen, never mind.
All right. You get the same answers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you be comfortable with attending if attendees wore masks? 63%.
You have to move it up. Oh, there we go. I can move it up.
Yeah, each of you can do your own. Would you be comfortable attending if did not wear a mask? 63%. That's not an option right now. CDC says everybody
I
must wear a
wouldn't.
mask.
Yeah, I wouldn't be there.
But you've got 13 people who said, I mean, one person, that's 13%. One person said yes. Would you be comfortable attending a person if no singing was allowed by the congregants?
No.
50% said no. The way I interpret the CDC is singers must wear masks while singing, and everybody else must wear masks. They really don't address whether congregants can sing with a mask. But if everybody has to wear a mask, and even singers have to wear a mask.
I made a mistake, and in 5, I would be comfortable if no singing was allowed at this point,
Okay. All right.
and I just misread that.
Okay. So we have one person who would be comfortable if no singing. And we have 50% who is no. Yeah. So no singing is kind of a big thing, isn't it? And what about, would you be comfortable with attending in person if singing were allowed wearing masks? Yes.
I don't think we could do it.
No opinion. It's interesting. 3 people, no opinion. Would you be comfortable with attending if singing was without wearing masks? 25%. 2 people said yes. 63. That may be somewhere in the summertime, but it's not now. What is the earliest month you would be comfortable? 25, 2 people said they'd come back in April. 2 people said they'd come back in July. Nobody's coming in May. Nobody's coming in June. And So interesting and not sure as to, and no opinion is one. That's a very interesting thing. So I'd be interested in hearing more about the April. I actually think that's probably too early for us, because one of the things that the insurance company said, to escape liability, you have to have a plan and you have to demonstrate that you follow the plan. And right now, we don't have a plan because we don't have the players, because we really haven't figured out yet what all we can do. If we develop a plan, that means if the plan says you're not allowed in the building without a mask, that means we need somebody who is tough enough and compassionate enough to say at the front door, no mask, no entrance. And mean it and uphold it, because it's got to be, if you have a plan, you got to follow it. You got to demonstrate it.
No mask, no shirt, no service.
Well, I don't.
No shoes.
Oh my God, is Vallejo a hippie town?
No shoes.
No, but a lot of places say no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Yes, I say no mask.
But the thing
I
is, you
know.
have to also be consistent. Whatever you tell one person, you have to tell another person.
Right.
And would you be willing to volunteer? There you go, Alex. You got 5 people who are volunteering.
Well, I didn't get to that
I think I
question,
have
but
those
I'm.
5.
I see.
And would you be willing to volunteer during the, one of them is before service, because we have to clean the place.
Right.
We have
And-
to have it cleaned. We don't have to clean it, is why.
Right, that's true. We have to have it clean. And then would you be willing to volunteer during service? There was a very interesting, one person can, because we're also limited to 25% of our seating capacity, which I think the last time I counted is 18 people for our church. We could have 18 people for 25%. And there was a person on Saturday that spoke. They have 15 people they allow into their sanctuary. 5 of them are volunteers that support the other 10. So anyway, do anybody want me to do anything else with this poll?
Well, just save it. We'll look at it Monday.
I'm-
Yeah, I'd like to look at it again.
Oh, I forgot to take us off Facebook. Joanne?
Oops, I forgot my chair. Sorry.
I've purposely left the recording on because I wanted the poll results to have the recording and I wanted any feedback. So I'm gonna save the poll. I'm gonna copy it down after this meeting's over with. Okay, so what do y'all think? Any comments?
Great. I like that poll. I mean, I like the idea of being able to do that.
Yeah. It's a fun thing.
So I had difficulty with the poll because we're connected directly to the TV and I couldn't see it. And then when I was answering, it went back to 1. Now I don't know what happened that it did that. And so finally I just closed it out. So I'm probably one of the ones that was either undecided or didn't submit because of the way we have it connected in our house.
Okay. Yeah, well, there were 12 people on during the polling and there were only 10 people that filled out the poll. So you were probably one of those.
Yeah, probably.
But it's okay. It's anonymous. It isn't important who filled it out. It's the fact that I was trying to get a feeling to share with Joanne, Alex, and Dennis what people's general feelings were, and all of you, just so you know what we're dealing with and what we're considering, so that we're all transparent, that we're trying to do the best job that we can where everybody is safe. Hello, Kat. Did you have a chance to play with the survey, the poll?
I submitted.
Good, thank you. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. I was just wanted to recognize you.
No, I submitted pretty fast.
Cool.
She also signed up for helping.
That's awesome. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
And Joanne is right. We don't have to necessarily clean it, although I think there are probably some things we have to, but we probably need a cleaning crew to come in as who knows what they're doing about disinfects and all that. stuff.
Yeah, I heard someone yesterday on the panel say they had someone come in and do a COVID clean, so there may be some protocols.
Probably are
Yeah.
some protocols.
Yeah, my daughter says she spent most of her time with a spray bottle at her side at school.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
there's different solutions that they make depending on, is it for cleaning? Is it for disinfecting? Is it, yeah. There's certain protocols.
Yeah, bathrooms, I think, are some of the biggest considerations. We're at an age group where you have to make bathrooms available. I can't
Right.
imagine going through a service without that. And there has to be cleaning services. I can't tell whether somebody was talking yesterday, I can't tell whether they cleaned after every person's use, but they cleaned frequently and they had a disinfectant bottle on the counter.
What?
So,
Yeah, we probably have to section off the bookstore.
we probably would.
And the family room.
There can be
We
no
can't use the
food,
family room, I don't think.
no food.
No food.
And I was trying to think of how we could create an alleyway that goes out into the Zen garden if we wanted to have any after service communication. Because
Well, there's
what
the
I
door
heard,
for the kitchen.
yes, I know, but I was trying to think of how you get there without
Yeah,
and maintain social distance. Because one of the things they talked about yesterday is, as far as I know, nobody is having anybody congregate after the service. Matter of fact, some of the larger churches were using ushers to bring people in and people out
yeah.
to make sure
We
they
have to
were
have an
seated.
entrance and an exit. So we'll have
Right.
to go in, I guess, the regular door and out the kitchen door or something.
Or the parking lot, yeah.
And they were saying that they were inviting people, if they wanted to talk, to go outside the church. That's why I was thinking about the Zen garden. I just thought, well, maybe that's a way to do
Yeah.
it, but the parking lot's a way to do it too.
Yeah, eventually, but let's start simple is my,
Oh,
Thing.
biggest thing I got yesterday from listening to people is number one, I was amazed that the bigger churches are not opening right now. Like
right.
Mile High, which has 10,000 people, they have 3 services. They're having 1 service today. They are doing it by, I think they're doing it like asking people to go to only 1 service per month in person. And they're only having 1 service. And 2 other, I think both Atlanta, which has 200 people, and Santa Rosa, neither one of them are opening in services yet. And but they talked about trying to do it in stages. And I think that might be something we do, is we might try and do something in stages. I don't know how that works. I don't know how it looks. I don't have to know. That's why all you brilliant people are on the team.
Well, the longer we wait, the easier it gets.
Right.
Yeah, the restrictions will get fewer and fewer if things go the way we hope. I think we have to be open-minded. Like, let's say we planned, let's open in July, and in June, everything goes to hell as far as COVID.
Nice, Joanne.
Sorry
Nice,
for my swearing, but
Oh, no. Oh,
And a
God
hand
forbid.
we just
Does
have to be
anybody have a
flexible.
problem if I end the recording now? Have we got enough that if anybody wants to know what we're doing, they'll know?
That's good.
We're
Sure.
good.